Oh, it's so wholesome. Why do I still feel like something terrible is about to happen? Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. So, Team Salvato actually came out with, I guess you could say, a remaster of Doki Doki Literature Club. Literature Club Plus is like updated version of the game. Also, it has some bonus content. So if you're familiar with my channel, I did play this game when it first came out back in 2017, and it scared the hell out of me. Honestly, I didn't expect this game to be what it was. So if you have not seen my playthrough of Doki Doki Literature Club, I highly recommend you go watch that first, because today I'm going to be taking a look at the side stories, which is added content to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. And it's not involving the protagonists. It's mainly about the girls and pairing with one another as like friendships. I don't really know if there's any horror elements to these side stories, but I wanted to take a look at them because I enjoyed Doki Doki, and I know a lot of people who watched my channel back in the day enjoyed it as well. So I'm excited to see what will happen. Before I begin, however, if you guys would like to support the channel on Patreon, that is patreon.com/AGirlAndAGame. You can get early access to episodes such as Doki Doki Literature Club and other things that I do not post on the public. So if that is something you're interested in and would like to support the channel, please go to patreon.com/AGirlAndAGame. The link is in the description. I would like to give a huge thank you to all my patrons, including Alonzo Thompson. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this on the regular, so thank you so much for supporting. As of right now, I have been replaying Doki Doki over on my Twitch channel, so if you want to go ahead and watch that, I'll leave a link to my Twitch channel in the description, twitch.tv/AGirlAndAGame, because I was curious if they changed anything, you know, because like, what is up with this reboot thing on the computer? That something tells me that there may be a secret involved. But let's get started. Root, logging in. So I changed the wallpaper and everything, but as you can see, it's emulating a desktop computer. And it makes me wonder, like, maybe there's something more to this? That's a lot better. It was just missing the theme song. So as you can see, there are 6 side stories. Well, I have 5 unlocked. So we're gonna take a look at all of them through this, and hopefully learn more about the girls and how Doki Doki Literature Club started without our protagonist ruining everything, basically. We'll start off with the first side story, and it's between the president and vice president of the literature club, Monika and Sayori. It's called Trust. Let's start. I'm very curious to know, is this gonna be wholesome? Is it gonna be horrible? Because this game literally tricked everyone when it first came out, so I'm just really, really curious about it. I do like how the CGs look in this one, though. It's a lot more cleaner than the original game, of course. You can definitely see that. It's just really nice. Alright, it's time for me to bring back my voice acting. If you guys didn't know, I used to be a visual novel channel, so I used to do voices when I read out these games. So let me bring back my voice acting, even though I cannot voice act whatsoever. Okay, everyone, the literature club is starting. Let's all have a seat and take attendance, okay? Ugh, I miss debate club. Who knew it would be so difficult to start a new club? I feel worse with every day that passes without anyone coming in. Oh, so this is literally when no one joined yet. I'm really starting to lose confidence. Monika is the only member of the literature club. In the days that have passed, all her efforts to recruit new members have been fruitless. Am I going wrong about this? Monika glances at one of her filers. The headline is, "Do you like literature?" Maybe no one is into literature enough to pick up one over the other club's interests. I need to sell them on a vision. A vision! But what kind of vision? Monika rests her head on the desk, deep in thought. But before she realizes it, the recent nights of staying up too late start to catch up to her. It's so quiet, and the noise of the air conditioning is soothing. She's falling asleep. Wow, this is like really weird to be back to do like let's plays of visual novels because I haven't done them in so many years. Hello? Look, it's Sayori. Suddenly, a voice causes Monika to slap awake. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I never do this. Is this the napping club? No, this is... Monika pauses, suddenly embarrassed to admit that this is, in fact, the literature club. This is the literature club. Yay, I thought I got it wrong for a sec. I'm super sorry. It was like so unprofessional of me to do that. Don't apologize. I do that all the time. Oh. Did I miss the meeting? Where is everybody? Well, about that. This is everybody. Really? Just you? But we're getting more members. I'm working really hard on it. Hold on a second. If it's just you, that means I get to be vice president. Wait, vice president? What are your qualifications? Well, I'm better at napping than you. Maybe I should be president. Now you're just making fun of me. Oh, I'm sorry. What's your name? Sayori. Okay, Sayori. I've been trying really hard on this club. I know you caught me at a weird time, but it's really disheartening to not be taken seriously, you know? I care so much about this. I just want to find other people who do too. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I do care, I promise. I have a hard time being serious, that's all. I didn't mean to hurt you. And I was joking about the vice president thing too. I would make a terrible vice president. I think if I remember correctly in the original story, they picked Sayori as vice pres, not because like she was like the first member to be here, but because she was able to take care of the club members when Monika couldn't. I mean, I'm sure that Monika tries to say something reassuring, but it's difficult when she doesn't know much about Sayori. I'm sorry that this isn't like a real club. Would you still be interested in joining after I found a few more members at least? Well, no. I want to join now. Really? Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Besides, I can tell how hard you've been working. You're doing something amazing and you should be proud of it, you know? So, let me help you turn something stressful into something fun. If nothing else, I'm good at that, so... Honestly, how could I possibly say no to that? That's really sweet of you, Sayori. Oh, I'm Monika, by the way. Monika! That's such a cool name. Fun fact, Monika was actually supposed to be my name. My mom told me, because my dad was the one who named me. My dad wanted to name me, that had a name that ended with like a K sound, which is why it was Jessica. But I was almost Monika. That was originally supposed to be my name. Oh, now you're just trying to cheer me up. But you're smiling. Well, I didn't say it didn't work. Monika glances at the filer on her desk and realizes that her name is already written on it. So, what do we do first? Well, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? We can go home and try to come up with new ideas to recruit club members. I can do that. Cool. And I think I need to put some more thought into the vision for the club. You know, like a mission? My mission is to make everyone happy. Oh, poor baby. I feel sad because out of everyone in the literature club, my favorite is Yuri. I still like her because I like her personality and everything, but Sayori, I definitely connected with her too just because of her struggles with mental illness. And it's sad because like usually the people who are depressed, not saying that everyone is like this, but from my experience too, I prefer to make other people happy than take care of myself, even especially when I'm struggling. So I totally understand where she's coming from as well, which makes me really sad because she really just does make everybody happy in the club. Yeah, something like that. I need to think about it. Hey, do you like hugs? I guess so? Sayori suddenly pulls Monika into a friendly hug, then lets go. Some people can just really use a hug sometimes. Besides, Sayori whispers loudly, hug energy is what keeps me at my best. Hug energy? Monika laughs. Although Sayori is very different from her, Monika feels her spirit lifted. Maybe it's just because she finally found another club member. But, well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow then. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to think really hard tonight about how to get more people. Yeah, me too. Oh, it's so wholesome. Why do I still feel like something terrible is about to happen? A day passes and the time comes for the literature club, Monika and Sayori to reconvene. As president, Monika ensures that she is the first to arrive in the club room. but she finds herself waiting longer than expected for Sayori. It's been 10 minutes already. Maybe Sayori changed her mind about joining? No, that can't be. She was so excited yesterday, but I'm getting kind of worried. Suddenly, Sayori comes bounding through the door. In her hand, she's holding a sheet of paper. Sorry, I'm late, I'm here! It's okay, welcome back. And Sayori spins over to Monika and deposits the sheet onto Monika's desk. Oh, what's this? Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. Caution me to watch my step, so I can't look back at my footprints. Climb the stairs ahead of me while I look up to you. The more I look forward, the more I look up. The more I can lend to you. If I can trust me to follow your pace, I'll trust you to set it. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I'll trust you to return it. Take my hand, take me forward, take me to your dreamland. Sayori's poems are always sad. Like, you can definitely see that in her writing. If you can trust me to lend you a smile, I'll trust that you return it. Hey, this is really good. You wrote this, Sayori? Of course. Wait, no, that's the wrong side of the paper. Huh? I wasn't ready to share that yet. I'm so embarrassed. Monika flips over the paper. Written on the other side is a list of ideas for recruiting the new club members. Oh, so this is what you meant to show me. But I'm curious now. Do you write poetry often? I do, but I'm sure I'm not anywhere near as good as you are. Really? I'm actually terrible at writing poetry. I've never written anything I was happy with. Like, I always read it again a week after and write it again, and I'm like, wow, this is so stupid. I don't know. It's like the dramatic version of me doesn't agree with the person I want myself to be, or something like that. I feel like that's kind of foreshadowing what Monika is in the main game. Like, she doesn't know it yet, like, she's programmed to be this way, but since she's already conscious or self-aware, she knows that she's not supposed to be this way. That's why she can't agree with it. I see you there, Dan Salvato. Aw, you should have more confidence in yourself. You're the literature club president. I guess you're not wrong there. I need to, like, set a good example or whatever. You know, I can envision the club doing something like that. Doing what? You know, like sharing poems we write and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I would love that. Such a good way to learn about other people, you know? It's like we have so many emotions that we can't express to other people, usually, but you can write it in a poem, right? Yeah, I think that's helping me form a more cohesive vision of the club, so I'm glad you showed me. Well, even though it was by accident. Me too! I felt embarrassed at first, but now it kind of feels good that somebody else read it. I'll try to show you more of them in the future. I'd love that. Oh geez, I'm getting distracted. Do you want to go over the recruit and brainstorm together? Vice brainstormed so hard! It was like a brain hurricane. My brain is a natural disaster! I know she's trying to be sweet, but it's like the metaphors are so... Oh, it makes me so sad! Sayori, that's terrible. Anyway, let's take a look at the list. Make cupcakes. I was hungry, but it's a good idea, isn't it? Let me think about this. I mean, when we would have a chance to give people cupcakes, you know, like when they come to the club. What if we said we had free cupcakes? I'm like kind of worried that would bring in the wrong kind of people, you know? Wrong kinds? People would just come in for the cupcakes and then leave. Aw, nobody would do that. That would be mean. But you know, I want to find people who are really into literature, even if they don't know it yet. Let's see, the next thing on the list, hunt for people reading books? I don't think I get it. Like going around the school and finding people who are reading books, you know? Like in the morning, during lunch, and we tell them to check out the literature club. Well, the problem with that is like, would most people reading books just be doing it for an assignment or something? How would we know if they're just reading for fun? Well, we could ask them, but that would be bothering people who are trying to do schoolwork. I didn't think about that part, I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize, you're coming up with more than I can. Oh, your next idea is to hand out flyers rather than just put them up on the wall. I'd definitely like to start doing that. I'm useful! I never said you weren't. I just need to think, what will we tell people when we're handing them out? I don't just want to be like, join the literature club. Let's figure out a better way to engage people. What if you told them about club activities and stuff? What club activities? Yeah, I guess I suppose it's be my job to come up with that, right? A vision for the club. Okay, Sayori, pretend you're a normal person for a second. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. You know, like a random passerby who gets a flyer. How would you react to the idea of a literature club? Probably like, literature's stupid. I'm joining the anime club. I had an anime club. Well, it wasn't an anime club in high school. It was actually like an art club, but the thing was everybody who was in this club was like into anime, so I kind of think we low-key changed it into an anime club because we ended up talking about anime. I remember this. We didn't even do anything like art related. We were all doing our homework like for art school because we were also focused on doing art, but we would just be talking about anime and like gaming and stuff. So was that really a club? I was in a part of a lot of clubs in high school. So art club. I was also part of the yearbook club, because again, I did yearbooking in my final year of high school, and then I think I was also on the prom committee at one point, but then I left because a lot of people were mean towards me, and like they didn't really take my ideas to account, so I left. And then I also had portfolio club, which was for all the art students to help each other build a portfolio when they submit it to university or college for art school. That never worked out because we would always say we're gonna meet Tuesdays after school. Nobody showed up, so I just stopped going because I'm like, what is the point? Like even the teacher who organized it, she never showed up either, so there was literally no point to that. What the heck? Sorry, I was just thinking a friend of mine. Hey, that's Protagonist. He's kind of an asshole. Okay, what if I said we like do a group reading or discuss together? I would probably nap through that. That's you, Sayori. Yeah, but that doesn't really sound like fun to most people anyway. We need to really catch their interest, you know? Ugh, this sucks. Why is it so hard? Monika, don't be sad. What do you like about literature, Sayori? Me? Well, kind of what I said about poems earlier. I think it gives you the chance to express yourself. Like expressing yourself in ways you can't normally do when you're just doing your normal day and talking to your friends. I mean, we all have so many thoughts and feelings that we just don't get to share it, you know? It's like intimate. Yeah. How do you get that across to people? We could like express your true self. Be intimate with us. How do you know? Okay, that's kind of... I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh! What is it? I forgot all of my things in my classroom! I must have gotten too excited and rushed here, silly me. Rushed? But weren't you? Never mind. Did you want to get your stuff then? I'll forget if I don't do it now. Well, I'll wait for you then. Okay, it'll only take a second. Sayori dashes out of the room, leaving Monika momentarily alone. Monika sighs and starts jotting her thoughts down onto the sheet of paper. Express yourself. Be who you want to be. Make new friends. Discover a new you. Discover your heart. No. Write your heart out. No. Write into your heart. Write the way into your heart. Join the literature club. Write the way into your heart. Isn't that the lyrics of her song? Write the way into his heart. Oh no. Wow, that's lame. Monika! Ugh! You startled me. Sorry, but it's something important. On my way to the classroom, there was a girl reading a book. Reading a book? Let's hurry and recruit her. Wait, are you sure she's not just doing homework? I could tell she was really into it. Well, I guess we could take a look. Monika grabs one of her flyers and stands up from her desk. The two of them depart the classroom, with Sayori leading the way. This way! You don't have to run. Sayori leads Monika over to a particular classroom, then lowers her voice to a whisper. See? In here! Monika peers through the window. Sure enough, there's a girl sitting alone, intently reading a book. I feel like a creep doing this. You should just go inside and talk to her. Me? You're the president, and I would probably scare her away. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Monika takes a deep breath and timidly enters the classroom. It's Yuri, isn't it? That was fast. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Why? What happened? Well, I entered the classroom and she didn't even look up from her book. So I kind of just left the flyer on her desk and then walked out. That's kind of cute. But I'm sure she'll see it and want to join the club. I hope so. Shall we head back now? The two of them head back to the classroom, Sayori feeling rather accomplished, and Monika still feeling a bit embarrassed by the encounter. Wow, this is so wholesome. Like, it's so unsettling because I'm still expecting something terrible. Upon returning, Monika and Sayori resumed their strategy meeting. They discussed various different kinds of recruitment tactics, from professional to silly. After going through Sayori's list with Monika and coming up with ideas on her own, the two of them ended in a better spot from where they began. Well, I would say today was pretty productive, wasn't it? Yeah, I think we're starting to make progress. I can't wait to get some new members. Hey, what's this? Sayori peers at the sheet that Monika was jotting down earlier. Oh, don't mind that. I was just thinking to myself, join the literature club. Right the way into your heart? That's so cute! I thought it was a little overdramatic. But Sayori pauses and thinks for a moment. You know, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. What? What do you mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like I can tell from talking to you today. It seems like you're always afraid of doing something wrong. Yeah, but would you call yourself a perfectionist? Yeah, I definitely am. Okay, obviously we know that in the main game she becomes self-aware that she realizes it's a game and she's programmed this way. But I do wonder if, like, since her personality was supposed to be like a perfectionist, it's kind of obvious because she was described as like a very popular girl, and she's like in a lot of clubs before the literature club, and she's been in a lot of activities in the school. And I do wonder if her obsession with MC also comes from the fact that she's also a perfectionist. She wants to make sure that she never does wrong by the MC, like the protagonist. She wants to do right by him and make sure that everything she does is right for him. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, I always have an idea in my head of how I want things to go, and it's like I can't accept anything less than that. But I think in the end it helps me try my hardest at everything, so I don't think it's that bad. I'm a perfectionist too, and it's like I feel like it's one of my weaknesses as well, because I feel like it kind of holds me back in terms of like moving on. Let's say I don't do something that I thought I was gonna do 100% right or whatever. I kind of dwell on it. That is the one thing that I hate about being such a perfectionist. Like, if I fuck something up, I can't stop thinking about it for like weeks and weeks, sometimes even months. I'll just keep thinking about how I could have done it way better or something like that. But what Monika's saying, like, you make sure you try your hardest. Yeah, I totally do that too. It makes me work hard, which is a positive thing, but I feel like that being a perfectionist is mainly a negative thing, in my opinion. Like with this club, we have such an opportunity to make it exactly how we envisioned it, but it feels like we only have one shot at it. So I'm really afraid of deviating from that. The vision. What's the vision? It's... Monika pauses to think, then shakes her head to herself. She sighs. I don't know. I just want everyone to... Monika trails off. Smiling, Sayori taps a finger against a sheet of paper. Right the way into your heart. I think that's what you're trying to do, is to make the club that you need the most out of anyone. Well, you're the one who knows yourself best, of course, but I'm here to help you. Monika returns Sayori's smile. It's sort of amazing how kind you are. We're really gonna make it the best club ever. Sayori nods and the two of them remain silent in a moment, lost for thought. The only sound is a steady whisper of the air conditioner, and they only move in the afternoon sunlight, trickling its way in and out of the moving clouds. Sayori breaks the moment with a big yawn. Time to go home? You tell me, you're the president! In that case, today's meeting is officially over. I look forward to tomorrow. Me too! Sayori beams and grabs her things. You can go on ahead. I need a few minutes still. Oh, I can wait! That's alright, I just wanted to have some alone time. In that case, Sayori waves enthusiastically at Monika. Good luck! Monika smiles and waves in return as Sayori spins her way out of the classroom or club room. All alone, she sighs to herself and takes a minute to zone out. She wasn't prepared for the self-reflection encouraged by Sayori, but she decides it was something she probably needed right now. The club that I need the most? I don't get it. I just want to start a club with more passion, something that I could use to help lead people to happiness. Literature is the key to that, because it's the window to the real person inside of us. Underneath the person who is forced to always smile and blend in. The person who's forced to be perfect. Monika suddenly noticed a folder on the floor by her desk. Did Sayori leave this behind? I hope it doesn't have her homework in it. Worried, Monika opens the folder to check. Poems. It's a folder of poems. Become the flower. A feeling of a joy is the flower plucked from the ground. The color is scent. It's so pretty in my hair. Every day I pluck some flowers as though as they grew for me. A lifetime of peace and nourishment yanked away in an instant. All for me, all for joy. I need more. I need more joy. I need more happy. Pluck, pluck, pluck every day. Pluck, pluck, pluck. So pretty in my hair. Pluck, pluck, pluck. You're gonna die and you too. Whoa. Beneath my feet, a flower stands alone. It beckons me. I twist the stem, feeling it from its cling to roots, caressing the final joyous mode between my fingers. But at what end? I look in every direction, and the field I stand in, a prosperous field, is a barren wasteland. The fruits of my labor, the carnage of my joy, and that is what I've decided. I must become the flower. What the? Wait, Sayori? Okay, that was part 1 of that. Now it makes me curious about, again, the whole point of this game, or the whole point of the literature club, becoming happiness. And I think that's the moment she realized Sayori is depressed. She has depression and she's suffering right now. And it's kind of sad because, again, she said that she felt happy when Sayori showed up and helped her. So now I'm curious of how is this going to play in, because I have a lot of thoughts about how it plays out in the main game, so I'll hold off for a bit. Let's begin part 2 though. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monika should have come up with a plan for today's club task, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be centered of attention? Sayori's going through all these kinds of feelings and letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? The whole time, I didn't think to ask her about her own feelings. So much for the stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcasted Monika, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monika? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monika shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I needed the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monika stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do all of this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monika massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable Sayori isn't ready to share certain things. Yeah, it's really, especially if you're going through depression, it's very hard to share that with people, especially because I mean, it's not so much of a stigma now, but there is still a stigma about mental illness. I mean, it took me years and years to open up to people that I was struggling, because my main concern was I didn't want anyone else to worry about me, because I know a lot of people, everybody else has their own worries, right? And I felt like I didn't want to add that to other people. Like, it should be me who handles it, not anyone else. But I after I managed to come out and tell the people who were important to me that I was struggling, it became pretty clear that these people that I have around, my family and friends, were willing to help me and make sure that I'm okay. And I think I always try to tell people, like, you should, get help. That could just be telling someone, but it's not an easy thing to do. This is something that you have to build up the courage to, like, tell someone. And definitely having Sayori's, like, privacy invaded, I guess you could say, because her poems were there and Monika just read it without her permission. Yeah, it's a little bit of a shock because it's just kind of like, who said that you're allowed to know what I'm feeling? You know what I mean? So I can understand her hostility being like, you're selfish, like you're trying to make this about you. And I never said that. I never consented to talking about what I'm going through. But Monika, it's kind of weird. Monika is a good friend. But to think that she threw that all away for a guy in the main game is kind of sad. But as unfair as it is for Monika to pry, it's also painful for Monika to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah, Monika takes a deep breath. Okay, I understand that you don't want me to worry, and I think I'll be able to put this aside so we can move on. But can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monika pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart, or whatever. So I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I just want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori smiles gently. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monika returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, want to teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about the career recruitment? It's fine, we have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know? There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's fine. I think I just need like some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You kind of just end up writing down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have a big fight with your perfectionist mind on this one. You can't just start by writing your feelings and see what kinds of things make you of it. And you can turn your feelings into little stories. You can get your feelings down first and then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to another. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you like to put in and then you rearrange them in a pretty way. At least that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way, but it's a really good way to not get stuck on the right at the beginning. I understand. Hey, I remember this. This is one of, Monika tips of the day. She said, like, just write out the poem and then, fix it later. So she got it from Sayori. Sayori's the one who said that to her. Huh. It's not really Monika tip of the day, it's Sayori's tip of the day, isn't it? Yeah, I always get caught up in how it sounds and that I forget about what actually important. Monika pulls out a pen and paper and starts writing on. Stop being a perfectionist. You idiot. I'm just kidding. Monika scribbles out "you idiot" after she writes it down. No, keep it. What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot? Of course not. But the point is that you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want. But I was just... Well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monika rewrites "you idiot." She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote it down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did it the exact thing anyway. This is really gonna take some time to get used to. I believe in you. Thanks. I do too. But also you, of course. Monika continues to exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without even overthinking it. If I had to say, it seems like Sayori would be a good president. If she wasn't struggling with her mental illness, she would probably be a better president than Monika, because she seems a lot more, I don't know, carefree. Not saying that you have to be like organized to be a president of a club, but I definitely can see Sayori being a leader type too. She doesn't take like no for an answer or hides her feelings. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monika's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew! Monika looks up and down her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it. But it's also kind of liberating. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems. Don't give me too much credit. I'd have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing with you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try to work out our new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language. Yay, let's do it! Monika and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more and more confident in the club. Not simply from the recruitment planning, but from the vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does their essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Another day passes. As usual, Monika is the first one in the club room. With her printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monika and Sayori come up with. If only this was a flyer we gave to the one that reading the girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one, but the new catchphrase is featured clearly on the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say that one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is the one that can use it for writers to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monika and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monika thinks back to her previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be a president if I can't demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight of Monika's shoulders only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints, and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monika was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself for real. Monika pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She then presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of the pen. Monika lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her fingers across it. And so she does. The black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monika's canvas. Ugh! Out of spite herself, Monika presses the pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monika! Just move your hand! Monika writes. This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain. Ooh, that's actually really good. Monika slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today. I'm here! Hi. Monika hears Sayori approaches the desk and stops for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. She then sits down at an adjacent desk. Bad day? Mm-hmm. Me too. You too? The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just so hard to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Sayori takes a sheet of paper from Monika's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while. Can I trust you? Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monika with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monika takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. Sometimes I want to die. Holy shit! She just wrote that down like that. So, Monika always knew that she was suicidal. Sayori, this is really hard for me. Her voice shakes. So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like a million times better than me. That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself. I feel sad! That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is like screaming at me to stop. Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday, I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's a part of the reason why I came to this club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you, more than I'm scared. At those words, Monika stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. When Monika's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed, Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monika waits in gentle silence. I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can be happy instead? So I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts that I have. It's just so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy. Oh my god, I know exactly how she feels. That's what I do. I'd rather make someone else happy and be like, oh, it's okay, I'll deal with myself later. You know? I don't want to be the cause of someone's, like, happiness, like, or sadness. But that's terrible. That's what Monika wanted to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing. It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask what's wrong. I know that because it used to be like that. Sayori pauses, seemingly to recall something in the past. I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness anymore. Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too? I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this, but another part of me, I think just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do, especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. It's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but it already means so much to me. Monika feels a tightened sensation in her heart, a feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monika steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy. If you'd like. Ah, this is so sad. How did the club end up? How did Monika, because Monika just genuinely seems like she's a nice person. How did she ended up throwing everything away for a dumbass protagonist in the main game? You know? Especially Sayori, because she's considered her, like, best friend. And now that they shared this moment before everything? You know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? Wordless and without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monika's shoulders. Through their contact, Monika can almost feel the torrent of thoughts swimming in Sayori's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monika realizes that all the days have passed. This is one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breath begins to quiver. She takes in several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the thing that she always dared to say aloud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice. I'm so worthless. I'm worthless and everyone would be better off without me. She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek. I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. Oh my god! Sayori, no! I'm not good at anything, and it feels like everyone just puts up with me, and I hate it! I hate it! The more Sayori speaks, the more she falls to control her voice, falling victim to an overwhelming sadness clutching in her throat and her chest. I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away, and now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die! As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monika becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now. So she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. This is just being your friend. Monika offers a few words of comfort, but she knows, Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are the ones that don't belong, and Monika can't magically make them go away. The most that she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value, to me, and to other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really, really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could ever happen. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what you brought here. You brought us a vision, and you always brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monika feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them. These two share an embrace for a long while, Monika letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. This is so wholesome, what the fuck? I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way that they usually are. If that's what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring all of this up a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah, well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Wow, that made me tired and hungry. Well, I won't make you do any more work today if you're not up to it. No, I want to. I mean, I can. It's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monika smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks inside. A face that seems familiar. That is probably Yuri, right? That's probably Yuri. Okay, guys, I was expecting something horrible, but then this ended up being really fucking sad. Also, it's also enlightened me to know how the literature club came to be, and it's interesting, like, regardless of the fact that she knows that this is an entire game, and she knows that she's not real, Sayori's not real, like, all the characters are not real, Monika was still willing to kill all of them off for a guy. You know what I'm trying to say? And considering that Sayori is the one who, in reality, is the one who makes the literature club. Monika really didn't know what she was doing. It was mainly Sayori, even though she was not, you know, well, or someone who can be organized or anything like that. She's the one who created essentially the theme of the club, the logo, or the motto, and then also giving Monika writing tips. Because everyone just assumed, at least MC, when we got to literature club in the main game, he assumed that Monika was the main one and knew what she was doing and everything. And it shows how just imperfect she actually is. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that also proves that she was trying to make herself so perfect so that MC will pick her. Even when she destroys the game, he will love her because she's exactly perfect and better than the other characters. So I find that really interesting. I don't know. I kind of like that we have a backstory. So there are obviously a couple of more side stories to go here. I do want to know if you guys are interested in having this as a full Let's Play. Please let me know in the comments if that's something you want. We could take a look at all the backstories. I don't think this is going to be scary, but it's more of like an understanding the characters and like how they came to be before Doki Doki Literature Club. With that being said though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like. Please let me know in the comments what you thought, especially about, you know, the whole revelation of the Literature Club coming together. I would love to know what you think. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell button so you know when I upload the next video on Doki Doki Literature Club, if you guys want me to continue that. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!